Onivia, League of Legends highlights.
He has not played nearly as much as some of his other LCK contemporaries. Delight was most known for it. Incredible unengaged Esports does obviously have a great matchup into the Rel, can cancel the crash down, try and create a lot.
Actually, all of them are on the bottom side of the map as T1 maybe looking to step in here. G2 trying to overload if Carrier does overstep. Mickey looking for Faker, who steps around the wall, and Mickey's there for the knockback. Faker locked up first, there's nowhere for him to go. G2 first blood.
What was Faker doing there? Pushing in through mid, trying to work with his team. I think he was trying to looking up for G2. When you kind of look at it holistically, Zeus still doing very well considering the amount of pressure that's been thrown towards him on the top side of the map.
Caps going in, knocked back. We've seen Caps do this before he flashes. Not quite enough damage, but one more auto is enough for Caps to get G2's second kill.
Faker walked back into that. Think he might have been able to get out with Caps flashing.
In the LEC, starts the series off with a solo kill.
Here. Bell goes in with the last breath, the Lilting Lullaby as well, double sleep, yike, knock back, watch out, Eep indeed for T1, and a gorgeous flash from Broken Blade, the Keyblade follow-up, G2 are 4-0 up.
And the exhaust and Broken Blade, that doesn't matter.
Give up pressure around this Dragon, they were getting pushed in the bot lane because Mickey roamed towards mid.
Look at Caps right now, you've always got to keep your eyes on this man in the mid lane. He knows that Faker has moved down towards the bot.
Instead, it's going to be the Dragon, and the roam will get punished.
Oh, Ona might just look to get Caps here. Wind becomes lightning hits. Caps going to jump away. Ona can go for the chase. There's the Destiny as well, and Caps in his jungle tries to jump away again. Flash from Zeus. T1 on the board.
Nice collapse from Zeus. And T1 punishing the roam from Caps. He's going to lose more than just a plate. He's going to lose 2 waves in the mid lane. Zeus now going to lose a little bit of his own, but he shouldn't be too hurt.
Getting collapsed on. Caps pushing in the mid lane. Should be able to get a plate of his own. Broken Blade stepping away here. Tries to put the damage down onto Zeus, who locks in the gold card. Yeah, Broken Blade, you don't win this 2v1. Zeus steps in, there's the gold card, Baker shuffles forward, and Broken Blade should fall. He goes in with the last breath, but the shutdown to Baker is enough. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Lilting Lullaby on Ona forces him away. Another plate for G2 as Carrier looks for the stun. Knocked back, TP behind by Faker, still no Shurima shuffle for him. He does have the flash though, and Mickey doesn't have much of a health bar left as T1 continue to collapse. Carrier has the flash. Headbutt pulverize, goes in onto Caps, Destiny behind, and now Caps needs to get the hell out of there. But T1 are trying to send him to the depths. Faker chasing in, Faker finds another. And from what was a great game state for G2, T1 punch back.
Looks like the reboot was successful for Faker. Just barely able to escape is Mickey. Another
to make sure that they can get control over this Rift Herald.
Herald, though, going to be valuable when it comes to sieging. Things like Tristan counter jungling as well, stealing away what camps he can. And ultimately, the map has been split. Isolating Broken Blade a little bit.
2v2 is a lot of 3v3s, and that is where the TF, even when he's behind, really, at this point, you can almost buy Shirelles, just run at people.
Zeus.
He's
going to die.
Yeah, Lilia's there.
Yikes on his way. There's no way for Zeus to get out of this one. Has exhaust, has splash. Shouldn't burn either of them. As soon as he sees Yike arriving, watch out. Eep as Zeus falls in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, on the top side, T1 take a turret.
Now, Chronicler, this is something that isn't new to Zeus this split, am I right?
No, he's been...
It's really just going to help them siege and threaten these side lanes that they have so much influence over.
So as well, T1 making sure if this mid lane...
So it has been given up by G2, well claimed by T1.
I think they can escort the Herald in for another siege. Broken Blade has made his way. That's a good point.
Very good call.
I mean, I was thinking to myself earlier, oh, hang on a second, Broken Blades.
Manages to get onto Guma Yushi, who has the cleanse, who has the flash, and has the chain of corruption, but it's blocked by the wind wall. G2 investing the TP here as Mickey falls to a piercing arrow, and Carrier finds the double knock-up. Yike trying to do everything he can as Caps is forced away with the exhaust. Zeus locks in the gold card. Hans Summer has to cleanse. And there goes Ona pushing forward once again. The Destiny onto the back line as Yike now locked up, shut down by Faker. Hans Summer next on the menu as the dive forward continues for T1. It's beautiful.
And Guma, of all people, if he looks to be too juicy of a target, he probably is. The man has been so consistent. He's the bait served up. And G2... But between the on-hit Kalista as well as a fed Lilia, there is a lot of powers. Broken Blade.
One more down, gold card out, Carrier goes back in, chain of corruption for the follow-up. Mickey looking for the Magnus Sword, Caps dives into the backline, Broken Blade with the last breath as Zeus tries to flash away, he kills Broken Blade. Caps gets one, but Guma Yushi puts him in his place. Sent to the 7 hells as G2 lose 2. T1 have lost 1, only Zeus falling.
G2 getting a little...
Mickey looking for another engage, but there's not a lot of vision.
No vision at all. Yike could try and steal with the swell seed. Mickey's just dead. He's had a struggle on this run. Hasn't really been able to get into the game at all. Faker has TP. Faker TP's up to the top lane. Mickey's going to jump the wall. Faker not going to slide forward. No vision in the pit for G2. Carrier flashing, knocked back, locked up with the stun card, the chain of corruption, and Caps is clapped.
Carrier once again. His Alistair is absolutely popping off in this game. He punishes Caps, and now the Baron is unlocked for T1.
Tristan, that character with so much built-in safety, you feel safe to just walk towards that unwarded brush, but unfortunately for Caps, Carrier was waiting. They will get a consolation turret on the other end of the map. Doesn't look like they're gonna get much more than that though. It's waiting. Zeus did have his ultimate available, but that is going to be, even within the LCK, we saw this countless times, having incredible, not just kind of a sense for when to start these Barons, but how they utilize them to pressure side lanes, how they utilize them to set up the map as Caps.
Gold card once again. Caps exhausted, trying to trade with Zeus. No flash for him. Gumu and Ono on the chase, dash forward with the audacious charge, chain of corruption, and Caps is sent packing. 2-5-2 now.
I mean, I guess Caps is just looking for something on a side lane. T1, I'm not going to give him any option.
T1's Boogeyman tournament. Well, last year at MSI, Caps was one of the main problems on G2. He really struggled to have an impact. This year, he's been performing incredibly in the LEC. We were talking about whether it's Prime Caps back from the dead.
And end up working out. It's been quite rough. T1 now setting up, making their way over. Baron about to time out, looking to play towards this. Oh, they try to collapse on Faker.
Just kill Faker. It's been said so many times. The flash from Faker immediately pops the stopwatch. Gumayushi here for the chase, chain of corruption blocked with the wind wall, and Faker will fall, but Mickey almost follows. Face Cool gets him out. Owner, Carrier, Gumayushi and Zeus on the chase forward. Gold guard locked again. Carrier gets a double knock of the Caps, able to buffer out of it. Carrier on the backline, kills off Mickey. Yike trying to do everything he can. Broken Blade low. Buster shot into the engage with the last breath, but it's Broken Blade who has lost the breath from his lungs. Yike looking for more. Owner low. Gumayushi and Zeus very healthy though, and Hans Summer. Caps and Yike will just back away. Can look to set up a play, but won't try and trap.
That many teams in the LCK have talked about is, oh, Zeus might be overextended here, the TP.
Gumayushi is there, chain of corruption about to come back off cooldown. Caps jumps onto Zeus, locked up with the gold card once again. Counter TP as Caps look for the play, but T1 answer with a fist of their own. Caps down again, Faker TP's in, and you have to think that might just be it for G2.
Might just look for the end here. T1 pushing down through mid.
We're going to be on the inhibitor tower very shortly. Broken Blade and Mickey trying to defend, but it's the Nexus turrets that they will be defending. I think T1 just want the inhib. Get the Drake, get yourself on Soul Point, take anything from G2's jungle on the way out.
As I was saying earlier, one of the big things that many teams have talked about when it comes to facing T1 is that it becomes a mind game of its own. Is Faker overextended? Because sometimes he is, or is it just, is the rest of T1 ready to respond? And it becomes kind of a lose-lose situation where you have to punish him in situations like that. When
his impact has been absolutely kills. And but Gumayushi, 0 deaths. His positioning has been flawless in these fights. As desperately as G2 has tried.
Involved in some nefarious business, okay?
Him and Graves looking shady.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Magnus Storm in as immediately they dive in. Faker puts the Emperor's Divide down, but G2 from the darkness found something. Zeus with the blast cone out. Will G2 overextend for more? Will T1 catch them in that trap?
And that's what I was talking about. You got to keep a look.
G2 might just call for the flip here. Go for the 50-50. You're so far down in the hole anyway. 5,000 gold behind T1. Destiny out. Carrier getting forced away by Caps. G2 still on the Baron. Chain of corruption just goes wide. Mickey locked up with a gold card once again. The Baron down to 2,000. Zeus takes one, but Yike gets the Baron. Carrier with a 3-man knockup. Owner with the crescent guard. Stopwatch coming out as G2 just try and get out of the fight, but they might look for more. Yike has the lilting lullaby. Only locks up Owner. Unsummer dancing and ducking and weaving his way around the pit, but he just can't get away. Gold card locked again as Yike's day will be ended. The Baron for what? Perhaps a Nexus.
Incredible team fight once again from T1. Carrier just keeps finding these engages. They have 5 people alive, only 2 left to defend. I don't know if the Baron buff is going to be enough to keep G2 alive in this game.
It would be a miracle to end all miracles as Caps is just demolished. Broken Blade there in time with the wind wall. The Baron up minions helping out G2 a little bit here as T1 start the siege. Carrier down to half HP, Unbreakable will almost back up for him. The first Nexus tower falling lower. They're trying to get both at the same time. They take one. Mickey goes for the engage, last breath, but it's only onto Zeus. The Magna Storm not going to do too much. And it looks like it's all over for G2 in game one. Owner playing with his food a little bit as Broken Blade's locked up. Caps trying to get the damage down, but Hans Summer's next on the menu as T1 clean up G2. And it's T1 G0.
Get through. Let's see if things are going to be different this time around, because carrier support I think is going to be very difficult to deal with once again. While they do have a lot of engaged tools on the side of G2, I think T1, with perhaps their game plan is to try and get this push in and then look for an early reset. Mickey trying to garner some early information. He needs to be careful though, still only level 2.
Tanglebob's going to hit onto him. Gumayushi chasing in Mickey, already down to half HP. The chase continues from T1 as Owner joins the battle. Hans Summer with the rend on Guma, trying to get the slow down. Owner still chasing forward. Mickey no flash, Tanglebob, Spectral Maw, Carrier on the board.
Your jungler is topside. You can't play that aggressive into the enemy jungler. It's okay. I'll play it again.
Great vision control from T1. Spots the roam from Mickey.
Carrier coming in from the side, Owner joining in as well. Yike looking for the damage. Mickey just walking straight forward here. Faker still holding on to the seismic shove, and Mickey is locked up with it. Mickey rooted with the tangle barbs, and he walked right into his own death. When Faker comes knocking, you do not answer that door. Mickey 0-2 now.
So much hesitation on the side.
Splash burn is old, and Broken Blade just walks away.
That was a heavy commitment from
Big
Zeus.
win, yeah, for Broken Blade.
I'm kind of surprised. Now the bot lane dive for Owner.
Carrier stepping forward. There's the Weaver's wall in by Faker as well. Mickey does have the flash back up, looking for the stun, but can't find it in time. Owner possesses him. And underneath the tower, he is fine as roses. T1 starting to retreat away. Caps was spotted on.
But T1 with fantastic bot lane control. Yike is forced to cover.
Good reaction flash from Gumayushi. Could see it coming and reacted accordingly. Now Owner moving across. Mickey's flash down once again.
This game is ultimately going to boil down to the team fights. And how that fight goes, the early ones will determine a lot in the outcome of this game.
I think the game might boil down to the fact that G2 are pushing forward here in the Pop Blossom. Will find Mickey. Tangle Barbs for this follow-up. There's the Spectral Maw. Call of the Forge not coming out as Mickey tries to turn it back around. The shockwave possibility from Caps. But Mickey already falling low as Owner possesses his body. A three-man shockwave into the dive forward. Is it enough for G2? Broken Blade fighting Faker in the bottom lane. It's a one-for-one trade on the top side. Faker Weaver's walls his way out. Broken Blade no TP. Faker has his.
A crazy battle in the river. Mickey still doesn't have his...
now, Faker looking towards the top side. Caps has snuck into that second bush.
Crucially though, because Faker had to use his ultimate against Broken Blade, he can't use it to cheat towards the skirmish. Might get caught here.
Faker does have his flash, but he's knocked up, locked up, and shut out of the fight by Yike. Well played by G2. Caps sneaking into that bush meant that the
Redder is just letting the turret go. Zeus is there now, but the turret is going to get taken now nonetheless, and G2 now back in the lead. T1, they're doing a lot of posturing here, but without Zeus...
Oh, hang on a second. Carrier's been spotted here.
Right, looking for him, goes forward, Carrier flashes away, Drake secured. Broken Blade diving onto the back line. It's only Carrier for now. There's the Pop Blossom. TP's behind. As Carrier will fall first, the TP behind from T1. Not going to look for any more of a collapse. Faker just investing there. G2 can continue to press in. Broken Blade, channel the E, doesn't go for it. Faker forced off towards the top side by Caps. It's a 2-level disadvantage for Faker right now. He's been starved of XP. It's actually about a level and a quarter if you look at how far Faker is towards that 6. Faker holds the flash, flashes the wall, and the Zenith Blade just short from Mickey.
This time around, I do think that 41, it's important to know that the Ornn is always going to eventually generate insane amounts of value. So I can imagine if G2 still feel the need to play a little bit aggressive.
Does still have the flash. Mickey's on his way here. Flash away, but the Heartbreaker breaks the hearts of Europe. Yike's still on the chase though. Owner has no flash. Broken Blade coming in from the side. Let's bounce, baby! Faker locked up. Owner sent packing. G2 get 2.
I don't think the game plan was for Caps to die, but G2 make it work. 2 for 1. Gumayushi and Carrier.
Because that is going to be, if T1 ends up winning that and gets soul point, then I think the game becomes incredibly hard to play out for G2.
Shockwave in by Caps as Faker's pulled back. Seraph's there. Yike coming in from across the wall as well. The smite can go in with the Void Rush, but Caps 6 the kill. G2 collapses. T1 were looking for something on the top side. A 2,500 gold lead now. Yike, 4-0-1 on this Rex.
The gold lead, and Caps is playing a calm and controlled game as he works with Yike to just attack and punish the side lane.
This is the mid-game G2 have been working on all year long. Jump in by Broken Blade, does still have the passive TP coming forward as well. Broken Blade able to get out with a flash and a lights bounce. He's put into the cell division. Will T1 continue to collapse? You've got the Call of the Forge God. Come back off cooldown. Call of the Forge God for Zeus. Broken Blade sneaks in, seen by Zeus and Carrier. Starts to back away, Dragon down to 4,000. Owner trying to get in for the smite. You have Ren's smite, and it's secured by G2. Faker puts the Weaver's wall down and separates Hansama and Caps from the team. Broken Blade dives in, and might just have to jump out across the wall here. Call of the Forge God trying to protect Faker. Mickey falling low, dive in by Owner, but the Fate's Call will pull Mickey to safety. Carrier continues to step in, looks for the Tangle Barbs, can't land it. G2 get the Drake and get out.
Also get Prio here to work.
The debate so much last year was around his individual performance, and we rated him very highly coming into this tournament. Hansama in some danger.
Hansama, no flash, no cleanse. Steps the sides. McShelvin. Faker has no flash of his own. TP comes in. Broken Blade going to join the fight. Void rush forward. Faker goes down. And now the Call of the Forge God is more of a prayer sent to the heavens to try and escape. Caps is on the flank, and I've seen a shockwave land here before. Cap steps in. Pop blossom. What? It's beautiful, but they do not have the damage. The shockwave from Caps finds them all as G2 wipe away T1.
And Guma is going to desperately try to run. He might make it out, but the rest of his team is evaporated. The Baron on the board here for G2. The attempt to turn from T1. Way too overeager. And G2 punish.
It was a
no flash for Guma and no control for T1.
T1 are the ones with their backs against the wall. Guma feels like a very... Oh, hang on a second. Broken Blade.
Onto Faker once again. Faker flashes away. The stretching strike will pull him back, though. And Owner might be the first target as Yike sinks his teeth into the fight. Faker now forced away. The Weavers will pull back. Broken Blade on this Zac has not given T1 a moment to breathe. 8-0 for Yike and Baron on the cards.
The top jungle duo is just a diving menace with the Rek'Sai, and he gets the knockup, forces the flash out from Faker. And then the stretching strike into the ultimate combo means that T1 lose their jungle, lose their mid laner, and it secures the Baron and the Dragon. And again, like, I don't have time to explain.
Being used. Solo play on the backline as Mickey dives deep here. G2 maybe overextending, but the flash forward from Yike for the double knockup. Slap their heads together. G2 have had enough of this game. Pop Blossom comes out. The Cap's still very healthy on the backline. Broken Blade still has his passive. Another stretching strike on Owner as Hansama begins to dance on him. Stunned up for the second. Faker able to kill off Hansama. G2 maybe a tiny bit greedy because Faker puts the Weaver's wall down. Broken Blade dashing in, locked up with the Unraveled Earth. G2 could overstep here. Instead, they retreat. They still have the Baron for a minute and a half.
Still get the inhib. Still get the inhib turret. Still a lot of pressure here. Hunt's dying, though. It's going to take a little bit of venom out of this. They still be able to pick themselves up. The second Drake, and we saw there again, Faker was pushing in the top side, the TP, not in time. If he was there earlier, maybe could have made it.
Pushing for mid, for top, Broken Blade in mid, answered by Owner. Cap's going to take a bit of a chunk here. Owner, though, can you answer the power? Broken Blade Heartbreaker across into the Blast Cone, the chase from Yike. The Blast Cone and Broken Blade reads Owner like a book. Mickey comes in from the side, there's the stun. Broken Blade slaps him around the head and gets another kill on the board.
That might be the sign for G2 to actually look for the end. No Viego resets take so much threat out of this composition. Their lead is immense. Bot lane inhib is still standing, and Talia is always a little bit scary to dive, but you gotta imagine they gotta try and push for the end here.
Weaver's wall down, Caps isolated. G2 still pushing 4 strong through the mid lane. Seismic shove going wide there. It's Faker flashing forward, and he's met with a spear through his heart. G2 find another How Long Corona, 17 seconds, 5v3 now. G2 might just go double in hit base. Could be a little greedy, and they've often been in the LEC. We'll see if it continues on the international stage. Carrier trying to get in with that Blossom. No flash for him. First Nexus tower down. Finds Cap. Call of the Forge God coming down as well, but the stopwatch will buy a second for the G2 mid laner. And Onu is just deleted by Hansamo on the backline. Guma next up. He will escape to the safety of the fountain, but that's where he'll watch his Nexus fall as G2 even out the series at 1-1.
A convincing win for G2.
Down your Hexagolden you have the follow-up with the Falling Sky, you have a gold card, you have Cataclysm, you have a lot of circles, okay?
I do love me a circle
If
call.
T1
Dives
circles...
are quite strong. He does have a shield though, but he's level 1.
Gonna get level 2 off one more minion. There we are. Zayas locks in the gold card, Wind Wall comes out. Ono will wait, Mickey engaging in the bottom lane as Guma almost stunned against the wall, but not quite. Guma gets first blood, and Hansama stunned! What a 2-for-1 in favor of T1!
Meanwhile, on top side, Broken Blade is able to survive the gank. Zayas was forced to flash. We'll see if Owner continues. This is such a big wave.
Broken Blade survives! Gets the wave under the tower. And
They
definitely
did that
don't
level
lose
2 versus level 3, by the way.
Yeah.
But Carrier wasn't there. That's your window. You just go. And that's what you have to do sometimes to Poppy.
Instead, though, they do take a big gamble, and these type of lanes, double Halo Blades do thrive on finding early leads. Now, when we look at the farm, it wasn't that bad of a trade. As
Astro fly forward by Faker.
Faker!
Caps just needs the autos. Faker! Just taken out by Caps in the 1v1.
Caps finds the second solo. His Q. 1 second. Here we go.
Owner's on his way. Carrier stepping forward. Will the dive materialize? Ward across the wall. Yike dashes. Faker coming across from the side as well, has the skies to send.
as his ult.
Mickey's on his way. This could be the ball game right here. Faker goes in. Who tanks first? Already we see Hansama falling. Yike with a flash. Faker tanks a tower shot, but T1 able to get out. Caps looking for the flank. Has the shockwave, but no flash. Owner tanking on the front line as Mickey and Yike continue to collapse. Can Caps find Faker? Not today! Faker escapes. Guma falling low. The ignite not enough to take him, but the command attack will send him to an early grave.
Oh my goodness, it's only 3-3 in kills, but the action is relentless. They're looking for... Oh, Yike won't actually commit to the play. He's going to offer so much value later into the game. Caps is in such a commanding position, and while this Yasuo is struggling for now, admittedly, we know that this matchup is only going to get better for Broken Blade. Ghost is used.
Season assist in the mid lane. Good skies descend though the shockwave. Faker dodges it, but Mickey's here. Faker no flash, and Mickey slams him into the wall. G2 collapse in mid to find another kill.
All right, Caps, his accuracy on the shockwaves not the highest this game, but it doesn't matter because G2 still converted into a kill. Carrier on a ward.
Yike's coming across. Carrier on a ward. Flash forward. Chain of corruption. The lock up on Guma. And there's nothing he can do to escape. The chase continues. Carrier doesn't have a flash. Can he hookshot? Can he wall dive? Or will he just die?
And one of the things that was going well for T1, the bot lane, gets punished so insanely hard. Don't sweep.
200 is the mark you look at for the 20-minute mark. So well on his way towards that. You only keep scaling up quicker.
Carrier.
And goes on. Carrier locked against the wall. Yike here for the chase. Will they use the cease and desist? Owner goes back in. TP flash away with the Cataclysm. Keeper's birded out by Mickey. Hansama now collapsing. Face call. Guma locked up. The shockwave. Yike going back in onto Guma Yushi. Hansama has Carrier on his base and he might get taken out by the falling star. Carrier trying to put the damage down, but it's too kills. Hansama. Oh, he thought he was gorgeous, and he was! He flashes into a bush where there's a sentinel, so Carrier sees him, but Hansama doesn't give a damn and puts him in his place. T1 now pushing in the top lane, about 1,000, 2,000 gold behind. Dragon being taken by G2. It will be 2 Drakes to 0 in their favor.
Now, expectations coming into this series were that T1 would be the heavy favorites. We've seen the number of predictions, and of course, this series is not over yet, and by no means is G2 in a convincing position where this game is secured for them, but already I think G2 are defying expectations in how competitive they are playing against T1. In all 3 games, we've been seeing these incredibly close back and forths, and I'm excited to see where things pan out as Caps finds himself with a 2.4k gold lead over Faker.
The last time they won a best of 1 against T1 was MSI 2020. That was 4 years ago. Is the chain of corruption going wide from Hansama? The Destiny's going to come in, and there's no way for Hansama to escape this.
He's so dead.
He's so dead. Summer oversteps a little bit. Mickey looking for the Hex Flash across the wall. TP in. Hex Flash can sword. Mickey trying to get away from the gold card, which was locked in by Zeus. Cataclysm into the Keeper's Verdict. Only hits onto Zeus. Guma still chasing. The collapse coming in, but Yike realizes perhaps discretion is the better part of Valor.
This is what
Movements
we're
on the map.
What that did show us is how good the single target damage is. That's the one thing you need to be careful of if you are G2. Don't overextend as Guma.
Oh, Yike. All the way onto Guma. The flash away. Steadfast presence. Mickey can't find the stun, and Guma will be able to get the blast gun in time. Yike. Misses the Bolt Breaker, and now he's on the wrong side of dodge. Flashes away. Cataclysm. Shockwave dodge with the Hexagon ultimatum. And Yike locked up and shut out by T1.
Overcommitment there from G2. They're getting a little overzealous. They get the summoner spells out from Gumayushi, but it was so difficult for the rest of G2 to follow.
And TF have. As long as G2 makes sure that Caps always has either protection or is playing around the known locations of the T1 members, for T1 it's going to be really hard to ever walk up and contest because there's so much damage as Mickey.
Guma has no flash. Guma has no flash and no Edge of Night. Destiny out. Smart play by Zeus to spot. The fact that Mickey was flanking Carrier. Going in with the Hexagon making knocked back with a hammer shot. The Cataclysm. Cap's still stunned up, and Mickey's already killed off Zeus. Cap's down. The shutdown goes to Guma. Mickey trying to put the hammer snap into the last breath. And T1 maybe breathed that last in this game. G2 find 2. And Guma and Carrier walk away wounded.
Broken Blade arrives to the fight, and they make the combo happen. Yike and Broken Blade lock down Faker and Guma. And with the Baron alive, G2 are going to secure it.
T1 seem to be on the same page. We got to kill Caps. We got to kill Caps, but you can't dive that deep. They are going to give up the Baron, might get at least a mid lane turret for it, but not the trade that you're looking for. And G2 take a commanding lead.
It's going to be difficult to knock down, though. The wind wall should prove helpful.
Carrier, no hookshot wall dive. Stun card locked onto Yike. Singularity going down. Broken Blade dashing forward. The threat of the Steel Tempest lands that Q3. No last breath to follow up. Another tower goes down. Carrier dashing in, dashing out. Dancing all about. The chase continues as T1 is trying to be a nuisance to G2.
Very close to completing his Muramana as well. And G2 looking poised and strong, ready for the next team fight.
Broken Blade puts the wind wall down. Hexagon ultimatum coming out as well as Carrier dives onto the backline. Broken Blade down to half HP. Owner dashing forward, and Mickey binds Faker. The chain of corruption follow up. The shockwave. Faker falls. Yike able to survive as well. Locked up underneath the tower. He'll die. 2 for 1 so far in the exchange as Zeus is able to walk down towards the bottom side. Kite away. G2 continue to push in for the tier 2 in the mid lane.
Broken Blade. He's looking for more. They'll just take the tower. Wow. And Broken Blade was just kind of testing the waters, and T1 said, fine, we'll fight you.
Unthreatened because everything was used trying to kill this Yasuo. It's, by the way, didn't flash, didn't die.
Carrier into the wall. Han Summer there for the follow-up, just looking to chunk Carrier out.
Whoa!
Well, that's a hell of a chunk from G2. The chain of corruption landing as well, as Zeus going to try and lock in the gold card to stop Han Summer from the chase. But Yike is here, and Zeus is not long for the rift. G2 find another 2 with Drake up in a minute's time.
26 minutes in, and G2 are slaughtering T1 right now.
Trying to disguise his hand, but he doesn't have the upgraded ultimate as Owner looks for the flank vision on him. Owner just wants to get in here, now out of vision. Last breath going in, it's secured by Yike. No damage between the two teams really as G2 just get the Drake and get out, but Yike is overstepping. Cease and desist on the backline into the last breath, into the shockwave. Baker is yeeted the hell out of the fight, and even the base core might not be enough to save Carrier. Owner down, Guma down, T1 down, and G2 on the brink of taking a lead versus T1.
T1 again, they try to force. Again, they don't succeed.
This looks like G2's game to lose. Underestimated at every turn. They have taken the fight to T1, and this should be the last-ditch effort from T1.
No flash for Owner, but the Cataclysm, Mickey locks him up. Owner shut out. And G2 did everything they needed to make sure there was no steal happening as the flash shockwave on Faker takes him down to half. Mickey with a slam into the wall, and Guma's hopes of winning this game are being slammed in his face. G2 almost clean acing T1. Guma dies, there it is, a clean ace for G2.
5 alive for G2, 5 dead on the side of T1, and with this, G2 will go to match point.
The last Nexus tower, merely a blip on the radar for G2. It is G2 T1.
Last time,
Oscar against Gen G.
exactly, they don't want to go for it, and the early laning phase is actually really punishing. Does mean that, again, for, I feel like what, we really expected there to be more late.
Carrier, level 6. Mickey very far behind in terms of XP. All the early objectives are going T1 to 8. G2's options feel very limited in terms of where they can actually set up plays. About 2 minutes time is no first blood yet. And what's been a very bloody series,
it has
surprisingly calm.
Caps wanted to get to the lane anyway. Doesn't really matter whether he goes to his turret or the tunnel. We do see Carrier.
Tempered Fate, Capside steps, Cosmic Binding, Capside steps that too. Magical Journey in by Carrier. It feels like one of those, I missed everything, you have a go, Owner. And Owner decides against
Owner's like, I'm good. Let me
Summer,
be.
though, down to half HP. Faker does have the flank position here. No Emperor's Divide, remember, as Owner goes in. Crescent Guard, flash away from the Chain of Corruption. Immediately, Yike and Caps try to dive on a Faker, but Hun Summer's already fallen. Hostile takeover, lands on 2 first blood. Goes over to T1, they find a second. The Cosmic Binding from Carrier is just sublime, and now Caps knocked up, tries to flash, but there's no way he's getting away from Owner today. Or is he? As he continues to walk away, has to dodge, the wind becomes lightning. Owner gonna tank the tower. Audacious charge is enough as Yike falls as well. It's 4-1 T1.
And just like that, T1 blow the game open. A single fight is all it takes. 3,000 now the gold lead. Hans gets trapped in the river. And without any hesitation, T1 collapse.
Mickey also not able to find a whole lot of impact.
For Gumayushi.
Oh yeah.
The lethality already with that serrated Dirk as well. And now G2 very much in a hole. T1, this is kind of more of what we expected from them in this series. Getting out to an early lead, 4,000 gold their advantage.
I forgot
everything.
I think it's like
It's
like
after,
79 or 80.
After Aurelion Sol, he was at 82 champions.
There you go.
But
Yeah.
Wow.
So obviously his champion pool is as wide as league goes, but hold up.
Corruption hits. Hostile takeover is going to be popped. Gumayushi's going to be caught in the back of it. Broken Blade with a flank position. Yike with a double knocker, but Caps not quite here yet for G2. The Tempered Fate buys a second. Carrier's going to be the first of all as G2 continue the battle. Faker in with the Emperor's Divide, but Faker low. Zeus on that front line though can tank for days. Broken Blade can't quite land the stun into the wall, but the shockwave. Pathmaker out. Zeus survives. Living Artillery just short. From G2, they find one, only Carrier falls.
Okay, so G2 actually win a fight there. The TP from Faker doesn't really result in much, and it opens up this mid tower. Some bounty gold will go back to G2 as they show that
Hansama ends up getting that kill as well, and maybe they can start getting him in a better position. Could have been big as Guma.
Gumayushi, no summoners on him. Chain of Corruption goes wide, and Guma's just down. Caps TPing behind as well. Drake up in a minute and a half, still a while. But G2 now find another kill. And once again, the curse of being in the lead seems to be playing up in this game.
an uncharacteristic mistake from Gumayushi, the staple of T1, finds himself overextended in mid lane and is collapsed on by G2. Crucially, they give that shutdown over to Hans.
Faker going in. Titanic Hydra, not enough. The shockwave onto Faker. Yike dashing away, but Owner's here and will happily accept that kill. Carrier with another Cosmic Binding. Hansama trying to close in from the side, but he knows that Owner's on his way. Caps falling low, but will manage to fight another day.
And just like that, T1 reaffirm their control. They remind
Invested
G2
there from G2, both to great effect. The gold lead though still 4K in favor, and the Hextech Soul specifically is one that I don't think you can afford to give soul point to. Zeus alone here.
Doesn't have the Ghost, has the Pathmaker. Steadfast Presence locked him up for a second. Broken Blade chasing in, Void Rush, Caps collapsing, Owner's on his way, but can Zeus survive for long enough? The all-out might not be enough as Caps lands a shockwave on 2, and now Owner with a bounty on his head in the middle of 3 members of G2. Caps flashes out of vision, and Owner has to flash away. Collapsing though, T1 come in. Gumayushi there first. Yike dashes away from the Chain of Corruption. Owner falling low, but the piercing arrow from Gumayushi never misses its mark. T1 find another.
Guma doesn't miss those arrows, and that's pivotal because otherwise this could have been a disaster. Owner not dying could have, or rather Owner dying could have been a turning point. Zaze goes down. Now the question becomes, does T1 still get their way with this dragon? Setting up soul point here would be huge, and there was a lot invested to the top side by G2.
Faker secures a tower in the bot lane and gets another 700 gold for himself.
Yeah, they are just going to give up the soul point. I understand for G2, but T1 going to be very happy about that.
G2 in the hole right now. 2 items on Owner, 2 as well on Gumayushi. He's building up towards that.
Right now, it is fully T1's game to lose, to bring us to Silver Scrapes, to bring us to a game 5.
Mickey's seen here.
TP
TP behind. Hansama has 2 items. Yike goes in. They look for Ona first. Crescent Guard pop by him. Broken Blade might go for Guma. Can knock him into the wall. Carrier, though, is going to spot him. Steadfast Presence going down as the Sundisk is used. Flash from Mickey with a hostile takeover, but it only lands onto the Azir. Yike trying to do what he can in the middle of the fight. His Zona's already down to half HP, but Yike and Mickey and G2 have to retreat because gold from Carrier. The shockwave only lands on one. It's Ona, not the target that G2 wanted. And Faker has had enough. He slides G2 into the waiting moors of his team as T1 look to take us to match point.
Oh, this is the classic T1. You think you're fine? The geometry of that fight with the Bard, the TPs. But in the end, at the very least, they're going to get the inhib. But knowing them, I'm feeling it, they're going to try and bring us to back-to-back silver scrapes.
There is something inevitable about Faker. There is something indomitable about T1. Mickey comes up alive, 8 seconds on Hansama. No minion wave here for T1, but they have the might to try and help out. The wave about 5 seconds away. Hansama will respawn in time. T1 take the gate out and have a little patience.
They were so close to ending the game.
5-game series in MSI history. We might get 2 in a row. In fact, I think it's pretty much certain now as T1 push in for the top lane inhibitor. G2 have half a Nexus tower to try and defend. Broken Blade, Steadfast Presence will stop Ona's engage. Gumayushi down to half HP. Zeus pulled back with a handshake, but he's tanky enough. G2 looking for any last vestige of hope. Sending up prayers. Looking for a miracle. Broken Blade finds one perhaps as Ona's locked up. He flashes the wall. All they're going to do is buy a little time here. But time is swiftly running out. Kronos himself is playing for T1, and Faker goes in again. Stopwatches the tempered fate from Carrier. In fact, the Serema slide was not enough. The shockwave from G2 will do nothing as T1 assert their dominance on the series and take us to silver scrapes.
5 games, wouldn't have it any other way.
Big thing
I don't
here.
think so either.
Big thing here is that this time Zeus obviously, even knowing he's going to go into a lane swap, doesn't also go for the self-counter pick with the Poppy going towards the support role.
You expect them to go for the reset, because why wouldn't you? But Belveth is hovering as well. Yike needs, there it is, level 3 secured for Yike. How suspicious will T1 be? They're skeptical.
Sentinel out, Hex Splash into the wall, Goober down, Mickey takes it.
First blood for Mickey. No flash on Gumayushi. In an awkward spot, but it should get fixed. Caps and Faker just trading back and forth. Faker with a small CS advantage. Broken Blade is going to get a kill.
Zeus dashes away, has popped the ghost. Charm in the mid lane though as Ona's on the board.
The 2v2 of this Ari Lee is going to have to be the thing that digs T1 out of this early deficit. An Owner picking up an early kill, absolutely huge. Broken Blade, even with his flash being forced.
It's a kill, but you do have double Halo Blades AD carry in that bot lane. If Broken Blade overextends, there's a possibility you can take him out. Caps has the Weaver's Wall, Zeus is here, Ona's standing out of vision. Baker's moving up. Mickey looking for it, Ona's still waiting. Zeus hits 6, but it's rooted. Can't go any further. Broken Blade looking for Gumayushi. Flash heal still available for the T180 carry. Carrier here to bolster his defenses. Let's bounce from Broken Blade. Just chunks out Gumayushi. Doesn't get a summoner. Zeus now a target. Pathmakers forward. Gets the stun into a hammer shock against the wall. And Hansama is on the board.
It's the Poppy again. Locks him down. Mickey denies him.
Round of dive that's available for G2. Trying to stay alive against Talia, against Belvev, against Zach. Going to be so much harder. One of the really big things is with this continuous swapping as well, this T1 comp is so reliant on early tempo and finding early skirmishes. So getting to an objective first, trying to force your opponent to then play into you, and then take them down with your spirit.
Oh, this is beautiful from Zeus. Gets the all out, but Broken Blade with the last bounce can just heal up from that volatile matter. Elastic slingshot out. It's an ultimate for an ultimate. Zeus popped the ghost as well. Mickey looking for Guma, no flash. Chain of corruption into the zap. He's dead, says Chronicler, and G2 agrees.
T1 is being read like a book. Guma having an incredible series.
is crumbling under the pressure of Mickey's Poppy, and they're going to look to take another shot at the pillar.
Steadfast Presence knocked into the wall, and down goes Carrier.
A killing spree for Hansama. 1.8k the gold leads.
Yike needs to be careful though, because Faker and Ono on the collapse. Broken Blade in the top lane. Spirit rush forward. Faker looking for the charm. Yike tries to dodge away, but he doesn't have another dash. There's the charm. Ona gets his second.
This is the saving grace for T1, Faker and Ona. This mid-jungle duo, you mentioned it earlier, Chronicler, if they can keep finding these skirmishes, there is an angle back into this game.
So I want to, maybe G2 should exercise some caution.
Not just a Weaver's Wall into Guma dying here. Cap stepping forward, Weaver's Wall not used. Seismic shove enough. Bait's cool. Will pull out Gumayushi. Mickey's running up towards the rest of T1. A kill over to T1, good reactions.
G2 getting a little predictable there.
Baker going in with the Spirit Rush.
Nice
Charm,
charm.
Hansama cleanses it. Ona looking for the Sonic Wave. Hansama does have the flash. But away from the Tempest, crippled Dragon's Rage. Sonic Wave, Chaos flashes away as well. As Ona's taken down to half HP. And T1 are looking for more. They can see blood in the water. Sonic Wave just wide from Ona.
Faker and Ona make their presence known. Chronicler called out
Get
the
the
team.
Herald. One big punish tool is taken away as Caps.
Ona going in. Safeguards forward, dodges the seismic shove, misses the Sonic Wave, and Caps just dances away from everything in mid lane. Tower going down in the top lane. Rift started, I think, by Mickey as well as G2. Know that
One of the biggest pieces of criticism that was there for T1, particularly in, say, 2022, was the way that their draft would very often go towards what they like without taking really into account what they're
Going to secure another tower.
So
Herald.
synced that we say exactly the same thing.
That's
at the
you
same
two.
time.
That's you two, okay? That's not on me.
Oh man, I've seen this duo achieve incredible things before, and I think that they can do it in this game. Hans is in a great spot, but his flash is still on cooldown.
Baker coming across here into the steadfast presence. The stun doesn't quite land as Yike dashes forward, dashes back. The true form allowing him to dodge over those walls. Ona looking for Caps. Caps gonna base check, safeguard, knock back, Sonic Wave, seismic shove, dodged. Caps trying to get back to Hansama, and he'll do it. Yike! The body block from him. Caps dashes away, but the Foxfire chases him. Ona looking for more as Yike tries to escape. Chain of corruption on Hansama. He cleanses away from it. Once again, it's Caps getting caught. That gives T1 a little bit of an in back into the match.
Caps holding on to his flash throughout that entire
Now mid lane
exchange.
turret is imminent to fall with this Herald dropping
I
in
mean,
mid.
even last year, JDG in the upper bracket, didn't they also lose the game 5,
Yep.
knocking them down into
They
the
did.
lowers? The pressure is on. Broken Blade has joined the fight. Dragon, 54 seconds.
Oh, Yike's gonna ride this one away. Dashes across. Ona knocked into the wall. Hammer shot. The earth section shot charged away, but the Higgs to TP in by Caps. T1 trying to retreat because already they have lost. Ona stretching, strike into the all-out. Broken Blade pulled across the wall. Hill elastic and shot out of the spear. Baker, he finds Hansama, and every time you count him out, Baker is there to find the fight. TP behind now by Baker. Mickey and Yike trying to run away. Another charm onto Caps. Baker no spirit rush, no flash, but Caps has no HP left.
Faker is him, and he continues to prove why. An incredible pick onto Hansama, converts into a TP flank, and they're not done just yet.
Oh, big thing here, though, is that right now they're not able to allow them to go for Baron. I think they will end up dying, but denying the Baron from T1 is still big.
Broken Blade survives for a very long time here, goes back into the cell division. Baker and Carrier start to retreat. Zeus here to try and back up. But Broken Blade back to half HP. Super Mega Death Rocket up in 5 seconds.
Oh,
if
Sword
Hansama
Point.
can find a snipe onto
Rocket.
Faker, not quite able to do it. Faker and Carrier do their due diligence and back away in a safe spot.
You just can't underestimate this man. In what looked like a one-sided fight for G2, they were going to get themselves the dragon. And this game is
Blade.
delivering.
Gumayushi has the edge of night. Chain of corruption already used. Weaver's wall in by Caps. Guma flashes. Yike with the knock-up seismic shot. Bates call out. TP in now by T1 as they look to take the fight. Zeus locked up for a moment and Yike is deleted. Ona found the flag, but now he'll fall. Zeus on the backline onto Hansama. Flash away. Mickey's trying to body block, but Zeus goes all out. Just this once. Baker dives into the backline. Caps next up for Zeus. And Baker's on a rampage. Caps just can't get through Zeus. He is not fed enough. And the flash away from Caps buys him a second, but that's all it's going to be. You can't buy class, and Baker's here to fight.
And of all people, the person criticized most in Game 5 was Zeus, but his Cassante there drew so much attention, created so much space, and now T1 on a gold lead, but again, crucially...
Wasn't enough of Zeus. Is he going to be in trouble?
I don't think so. I think Mickey's just being a nuisance more than anything else.
He is also Cassante, so I always overestimate how much damage that champion takes.
The dragon is spawning soon. He's just a little bit off it. But here comes the TP back to mid. He knows the collapse is happening.
Faker will be fine. We talked a lot about how are T1 gonna kill Broken Blade on this Zac. The flip side is also true. If Hans dies,
Mickey locked up, and Mickey is down. Broken Blade's going to elastic slingshot out, but immediately pings to Baron. T1 know exactly what they want out of this situation. Super Mega Death Rocket from G2. Mickey on his way, Ono on the flank. Faker still has 2 Spirit Rush charges as T1 continue to chip away at the Baron. It's down to 6,000. Spirit Rush forward, Charm. Zeus on that front line, Yike having to dash away. Broken Blade locked up and Tofu's back. Zeus down to half HP, Faker no Spirit Rush left. The Baron's still low as Ono's looking to smite it. He'll get it, but will Zeus fallen when the resets happen for G2? Onto the backline goes Mickey. Carrier's almost taken him out, but Carrier almost falls himself. Ono dives in. Hansama just needs one to really open up. Ono goes down. G2 have lost 2 already though, and Zeus can dash back in. Hansama, only the cleanse and flash. Can G2 do it from here? Cell division in by Broken Blade. The Baron already secured by T1, but G2 do not want them to get out without a fight. Weavers will forward. Faker low on mana. Chain of Corruption, Edge of Night popped. Gumayushi almost fallen, but is able to dodge away from the seismic shove. And T1 are on the wrong side of the map right now. Any TPs up, no one up for 30 seconds. Elastic slingshot forward, and Carrier will pull him out with a Fate's Call, but Carrier's down now. Guma next up for Broken Blade, who flashes away from the bits to go, and Guma goes down. Faker, no mana left on him. The TP behind as G2 begins to collapse. Faker, how the hell do you get out of this one? I don't think you do. Get some mana, he escapes the honey fruit, but T1 gets Faker out alive. Ability, Broken Blade takes the blast cone. Zeus trying to beat that front line for Ona. Faker flanking. G2 unaware, but the dragon secured by G2 now. Will they go for more? They've been greedy a couple of times this game. Instead, now they start.
Here we go. Baron returns to the Rift right now. G2 have mid control. The dance back and forth. Zeus is not losing any HP. Faker connects the charm. Really nice damage on the Yike. He's going to be forced to back off.
Drake and Baron alive in 20 seconds. Baron already up, of course. Yike goes across, gets some health. Mickey takes a bit of a chunk from Zeus, who is on that front line. Edge of Night on Gumayushi, giving him a bit of protection. Banshee's Veil on Faker too. They don't know that Faker's there. Chain of Corruption just short. T1 trying to wrestle control of the mid lane to get into this river. No vision there for G2. Sonic Wave on Broken Blade spots him out. Caps trying to get the mid lane control once again. Ona going in, pulled back with a stretching strike, but Broken Blade more of a nuisance than anything. Caps down to half HP. Yike dashing forward. Faker doing the same. Faker goes in with the Spirit Rush, Charm going short. As Yike lands the knockup, he gets a stretching strike back, and Faker's locked against the wall. And Faker is down, buried beneath the earth. Can G2 find more? Hansama stepping forward, but Yike is. T1 can still turn this fight back on its head. Zeus no flash, obviously he's running the ghost, but he does have Q3 right now as it lands it onto Caps. Zeus going in, knocked back Mickey, dashes into the wall as Ona's locked up. Hansama dodging away from the Sonic Wave, and can he really open up? Not quite. Broken Blade's going to go into the cell division, the seismic shove just short. Broken Blade likely to fall here. Yike was trying to heal himself back up, but Broken Blade goes down. Another Q from Zeus. He finds his mark, and T1 march down the mid lane.
You might be able to take out Faker, but the real raid boss
T1, Faker is about up. Yeah, they'll get a Camtech Drake, but that's not what you're going to be looking towards. Carrier, he's harassing Faker is there.
Faker goes in, there's the charm, cleansed away by Hansama. The charm actually came out second. Even I was deceived as Hansama was. Faker showing exactly why he is the GOAT.
The Baron is secured. Caps.
He has Banshees.
He has the Banshees.
Baron is taken by T1.
With Hansama gone, that's 40 seconds. T1 maybe... Okay, maybe an end is a little ambitious. The wave clear is still there from Caps.
Only one minion here, the next wave on its way, about 5 seconds away. Carrier dashing forward. Gumayushi has that lethality, but Mana Moon alongside it. Weaver's Wall will stop the minion wave. 20 seconds on Hansama. T1 can still push in. The minions, they're having a little trip going to see the pandas, but they'll make their way out of the jungle and make their march down the mid lane. Hansama still 10 seconds away. T1 maybe just go for the inhibitor, but maybe even more. Can sense blood in the water, can close out the series. Yike was going for the flank, but can't find it. T1 back away.
Have the team, like, yes, Caps is zoned away, but I don't think that's the case for Hans. He's full health.
has the summoners available. You got to step up there if the rest of your team is making a play for the backline, but it's not the case. Rebel Baron powerplay now almost free K for T1, but they still don't have the inhib, and that's crucial. But if their backline can stay safe, I don't know if G2 can make it, especially because, again, there's no LDR.
Yeah. G2 are going to try and collapse on Zeus, who was pushing him in. Seismic shove going out with the all-out to dodge the CC from Zeus. His Cassante in these last 2 games has been a wonderful sight to see. T1 now use that pressure, push in the bot lane. They don't need the inhibs yet. The Weaver's wall coming out. Kerio on the wrong side of it, but he's got the flash. Chain of corruption going wide as T1 look to make their final advance into the base of G2. Zeus keeping Broken Blade at bay. Yike looking for an engage. Super Mega Death Rocket hits onto Gumayuchi, who does have flash. Kerio, remember, has just burned his. Faker no flash either, but he's got that Banshee's Veil. He's got that veil of safety that G2 have been unable to penetrate. Now the inhibitor in the mid lane, T1's target. And G2 just can't get in. Zeus dashes forward, but that's double inhib to T1.
Oh, and double inhib. That's so hard to come back from because this is going to chain into what probably will be a Chemtech Soul. 41 is Mickey!
Mickey charmed up! Mickey put in the dirt, 6 feet under. Maybe short to be followed by G2. The seismic shove on Ona, but the chain of corruption lands onto Caps, and a stopwatch can only buy you a second to stop and watch your team be ruined by T1. This far and no further. This close and no closer. For G2, this was the day they almost beat T1. For T1, it's just another Friday.
Stunned, Benny! I'm stunned!